Alright guys, so this is Julia, and today I'm going to be making a Windows 10 virtual machine, which, as you know, is Windows 10's birthday. Now, I know I'm uploading this a day late, but all the footage was recorded on Windows 10's birthday. It's just that I had to go somewhere unexpectedly for a couple hours yesterday, and it also took a while because in this video I upgrade through every version of Windows 10. So RTM, NU, AU, CU, FCU, and RS4. So you can see right here in the video I'm making a Windows 10 RTM VM, which is the very first Windows 10. It was released to insiders on July 15th of 2015 and released to the public on July 29th, 2015. Now, as you guys know, back then you could reserve your upgrade. You can see in this video right here it glitched out at some point and then it rebooted. I don't know why it did that. I guess it's an RTM glitch of some sort. But the sayings were different, as you guys noticed, and it's build 10240 or 10240, however you want to say it. Very first build. People could reserve their upgrades back then though, and they could upgrade to Windows 10 at no charge. Even if you weren't even activated, like on Windows 7 or 8.1, I think it still let you upgrade, but you just wouldn't have an activated Windows 10. It would just be unactivated as well. Which, I mean, I'm surprised they did that. You can see that password glitch in RTM, and I was even able to type in that password box. It was just a glitch, which is really weird. I guess it always did that. I think if you did a later cumulative update of RTM, it would stop it. I think I should try that on a VM. I think it works because someone told me it works. But pretty much in this video, I just show all the settings and upgrade through all the versions. So while I'm showing RTM in the video, I'm going to be talking about it. So the thing about it that I didn't like, the non-colored title bars. You can see in the video, it's white. No matter what color you picked, the top bar was white. Now, there was ways to add it, like WinArrowTweaker or ArrowLight theme, you know, but it didn't look the same. It certainly looked different, and it didn't look right. But you could also see the old settings app with the old settings icon on the bottom taskbar. And if you notice the old themes panel there, and the old control panel, also known as the classic control panel, which, as each version was getting released, they removed stuff. And you can see the wallpapers. They only had 3 wallpapers in that, and I think starting with AU, they added like 5 or 6 to that Windows 10 theme. So, another thing was actually back in the RTM days, I think they had an issue with NVIDIA drivers updating and corrupting, and they had to actually release a thing to hide them. That might have been an NU, I am not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's an RTM. Even in the system properties, it, like, in settings, it didn't even show a build number in RTM, but you could open WinVer to check the build. Back then, it didn't have it. It did starting with NU, which they actually started showing dot numbers. You can see RTM can go up to, you could update to the July patch. So even though Windows 10 RTM lost support in May of 2017, you could still update to the July patch, as it does say just Windows 10 and 10 LTSB, and the August patch just says LTSB. So you can see there the old Windows Defender, which I recommend if you're going to update to the latest dot number for RTM, if you install it for some odd reason, that you get it from the update catalog, because if you don't, it'll download a feature update probably, but I wouldn't recommend using RTM. It's really old and outdated. It lost support like a year ago, so it's not that safe. And you can see an edge you can draw there. It was a dark theme. You could change it in settings. Another thing about RTM is that Microsoft didn't even call it RTM. In fact, it was the main media that was referring to it as RTM, so it kind of just became named that, because people were calling it that, even though Microsoft is like, no, it's not. So there's that going, but also each build of Windows 10 is supported for 18 months, and as I said, people could upgrade to Windows 10 back then through Windows Update or the Media Creation Tool or the Update Assistant without any issues. You can even notice when I right click the taskbar, it doesn't even show the newer black themed like context menu. It's the old white one, which RTM was the only version that did that. And you can see there I am running a setup file of Windows 10 NU, also known as November Update, which I didn't mention. RTM went by several names. Threshold 1, or TH1. RTM released to manufacturing's versions 1507, build 10240. And yeah, but NU was version 1511, threshold 2, or TH2, build 10586, .0 to begin with, but the version I had was .164, even though it showed in setup .0. You'll see after it's installed, it will say .164. And I know I was mentioning RTM does have dot numbers, they just weren't visible. Unless you went to like the update catalog to download the updates. They were not visible to see the dot numbers. At least in WinVer, it just says build 10240. It doesn't say any dot number. It doesn't even say a version number, even though it is referred to that. So you can see we are upgrading to NU, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about NU. So Windows 10 November update released on November 12th, 2015. It actually got pulled from the media creation tool on November 21st of 2015 because it didn't remember your privacy settings when you upgraded. But they fixed that on the 24th and got it put back up, and people were able to download it. They were still able to get it through Windows Update, but they could not get it through the media creation tool for a couple days. In fact, I experienced that issue in the video I recorded about my Dell tablet. I think it was resetting it or something. It was like something about it resetted back to 8.1, and I tried to go back to 10, and it went to RTM, and I was very confused. And then I found out, oh, it got pulled. So another thing that changed with NU, I don't know if you noticed, they added the color title bars back, but you had to change your color to something else and change it back for it to actually take effect. You could see there, it has a dot number, it shows a version in settings now. The settings icon is redesigned, and if you right click the taskbar, it's the newer context menu. NU fixed a lot of bugs, and another thing is you could use a Windows 7 or 8 or 8.1 key to upgrade without having to upgrade first and then reinstall, because that way you don't even have to do an upgrade. You can just fresh install, give it your 7 or 8 or 8.1 key, and it will activate with that key, because RTM, it was not a thing back then. You had to upgrade back then and then clean install or run an MCT and just tell it to keep nothing, if that even works, because that might not even activate it. So pretty much NU is what RTM should have been. I feel like Microsoft released RTM like too early. I don't think it was complete yet. It felt like a beta. It was buggy. But with NU, they kind of fixed all the bugs. And the main reason why people didn't like Windows 10 back then was all the bugs. And I'm not going to say like NU was perfect, because NU did still have some of those bugs, but most of them were fixed. And it was pretty much RTM's fault for people hating on Windows 10. Now here you can see I'm going to be upgrading from NU to AU, which AU is the Windows 10 anniversary update, released August 2nd of 2016, which they were supposed to release it on July 29th, just like 1 year after, but I guess they had a mini delay because it was supposed to be 1 year after 10 came out, like the Windows 10 anniversary, so that's why they called it the anniversary update, which was version 1607, and it was the first to start Redstone, which it was named Redstone 1, and it was version 1607, build 14393. You will notice once we upgrade, the Action Center will be on the right of the clock instead of the left of the clock like RTM and NU, which I prefer it on the right. I think it looks nicer. It looks a lot better. And AU introduced some new things, such as with AU, you could actually do like bash on Windows, which is like Ubuntu, basically. You can have Ubuntu in a command prompt, basically, which that was completely new back then and cool, that Linux users could use some Linux things in Windows without having to install Linux, which I never really used it, but I know some that did. They also added extensions in Microsoft Edge, which was added in Insider Build 14291, which is very close to AU because AU was 14393. They also, some things they did also add was a dark mode. So you'll see I'll enable dark mode in settings soon in this video, and it looks a lot nicer. They redesigned the settings app. They added that Defender icon, although Defender still looked the same when you opened it. I mean, you could enable the Defender icon in RTM and NU, but it looked different. And in AU, they changed it. So there's the dark theme there, the redesigned settings app. They also added Windows Ink, which I forgot to show in the video. But pretty much they added that stuff, but some things they removed. You cannot disable Cortana in AU. I think you could do it through group policy or Wonero Tweaker or something like that, but you could not turn it off yourself. It was no longer an option. Another thing they removed was you cannot change the shutdown sound or the login and log off sounds. Now I know back then, I think you could, they weren't enabled by default, but you could change the sounds, but AU, you cannot change it. So there you see Cortana, you cannot turn it off at all, but again, third-party software or group policy can do it, but you can only do group policy in Windows 10 Pro. If you have Windows 10 Home, you have to use a program to disable it for you, which will work. So pretty much, also, with AU I felt like pretty much every bug Windows 10 had was fixed in AU. AU was like a really good release in my opinion. It was, pretty much fixed. They fixed all the bugs. It made Windows 10 much better. The design looked so much better. As you know, though, they added more features in the newer versions. They added more apps, but I know I might be leaving some things out, but I'm mainly just trying to say the most important things that's changed, like the most noticeable stuff for this video, since it is Windows 10's 3rd birthday, which is crazy. And I know last time all I did was upgrade from the oldest to the latest. I didn't upgrade through all the versions, I don't think. So, pretty much, though, Windows 10, it's evolved. There's a lot of versions, and now you can see I'm upgrading to Windows 10 CU or Creators Update version 1703, build 15063.0, which obviously they've released newer cumulative updates, but my version was .0, and I upgraded to it, which is, amazing, I guess, which, my opinion, I think CU was good. But let me tell you some things that's changed in CU. So, in CU, you can now pause updates for like a week. So, I don't recommend doing that, but you could. It was possible. You could also change your active hours set to 18 hours, but that might have only been in Pro, I'm not sure. Also with CU was Windows 10S, but it was later on in the CU days, and it wasn't included in the ISO. In fact, I don't even think you can get an ISO anywhere, but you could get an installer back then. But then starting with FCU, they included Windows 10S in the media creation tool. So, also with CU, they added the Windows Update icon in Windows Update, which you'll notice when I show it. They added Nightlight, which made it easier on your eyes at night. You could schedule it. Once again, you'll see all this. They added that mail icon as well in the taskbar, which I don't know how many people actually used the mail app, but they added the mail app there. And believe it or not, CU was released on April 11th of 2017, but April 5th is when you could actually download it through the Media Creation Tool or Update Assistant, which I don't know if you just saw that, but they had a newer Windows Defender in Windows 10 CU, as well as the green little check mark you can see on the icon in the taskbar. So they redesigned Windows Defender completely. There's a night light, you could schedule it, you could even turn it on if you wanted to. They also added a gaming mode to Windows 10 CU, which made it faster for your games, and they added some settings which you guys will see soon, which is cool. So also CU, the one thing about CU, you can do custom colors, as you could see, and you could see with CU they added more backgrounds to the Windows 10 theme, which made it different. But the one thing with CU is that it did not run on Clover Trail processors, which I don't know how many actual computers had that processor, but if you had a Clover Trail, you were stuck on AU, but you're still going to get support till like 2025 or 2026, which is good. At least you're still going to get that support. And you could see there's the gaming settings that they added to CU. and a game mode, which made your games faster, as I said, more accessibility settings, so they added a lot more in the newer versions. Also, CU was a lot about privacy. They always said you can choose what privacy settings you want. In fact, they even had an update called like Windows 10 Creators Update Privacy Settings, and it would literally make you accept like settings before it even downloaded CU. But later on, they got rid of that and made it, after it updates to CU, you could pick your privacy settings, which I don't think I saw on this VM, which is kind of interesting. Maybe because I used an ISO, or because I changed the privacy settings beforehand. I really don't know, but I didn't get that, which is kind of weird. But you can see the control panel, they're starting to remove more and more settings from control panel. They added that taskbar settings thing, but that was added in AU, that panel. So now we're upgrading to FCU, which is version 1709, which FCU was Fall Creators Update. I don't know if I said the CU was Creators Update, but FCU was Fall Creators Update, which the one I installed was 16299.15, which is my ISO. I know they had one with 125, but I do not have that one. So mine was .15, as I got the ISO early on. And with FCU, there really wasn't much changes between CU and FCU. They were very similar. I know FCU was actually pretty buggy when it first came out. In fact, a lot of people complained about it. It got better over time as I got FCU in the Winland ISO challenge, and it really wasn't buggy for me at all. I had like no problems with it. So I guess it was just buggy early on. In fact, one of the FCU Insider builds, it kept crashing Explorer, and I had to roll back. And I don't even know if I ever figured it out. I think I just reinstalled Windows because I couldn't upgrade. It would fail from one Insider build to another. And I think it was actually the actual final FCU build 16299.15 that I had that problem with. So they still needed to get their act together and fix that. Now, I believe this was an FCU. They changed Windows Store to Microsoft Store, but again, you had to update it because it wasn't in the ISO, because I think it was right before FCU came out, or maybe right after it came out, that they actually changed Windows Store to Microsoft Store. But when I upgrade to RS4, you will see the icon, because I did not have this VM connected to the internet, because then it wouldn't activate, and I wouldn't be able to do those personalization options and show you all that if I connected to the internet, which is why I did not connect to the internet in the video. So it still let me, because before you connect to the internet, you can do all the personalizations you want, but once you connect, you can't, if it's not going to activate, if you don't have a digital license. There's the people icon on the taskbar, which was added to the Fall Creators Update. I think I said it was version 1709. I don't think I said this, but Creators Update was RS2 or Redstone 2, and Fall Creators Update was RS3 or Redstone 3, which, they also changed in Fall Creators Update OneDrive. They had something called Files on Demand, where they actually had that in Windows 8.1, but removed it in Windows 10. But it was called something else in 8.1, where you could see all the files on your OneDrive without syncing folders. Because when Windows 10 first came out, you had to sync the folders to even see them. But in the Fall Creators Update, you could see all the files without syncing them and then copy them if you wish, which is actually better. I don't know why they removed that in the beginning of Windows 10 and then added it back so late on. I don't understand. They also changed some of the scaling. Like if you open this PC, it looks a little different. Like it looks skinnier. For the like the drives, it's more noticeable when you set like a custom font, like I usually do on my computer, which I do right now. The VM didn't have any custom fonts. In fact, when you upgrade versions, it won't keep those settings. They added some security features called, it was called controlled file access, which would prevent an application from accessing certain files, which I guess would help with ransomware. I think starting in Fall Creators Update, they added the Fluent design, which you only noticed in apps. It wasn't really in settings. It was mainly in other apps that they added the Fluent design. Unless that was RS4, because I know RS4 really had a Fluent design. I don't know for sure if it was FCU that completely introduced it or if it was RS4, because I know it was a big thing in RS4. I kind of have that confused a little bit. I think it was mainly in RS4 that it was really fluent. You don't really notice on the VM though because it didn't do it for some odd reason. But also, with FCU, it was just, not much was different. I mean, they added a ton more apps. Oh, I forgot to mention this. In Creators Update, they did add Paint 3D. That was not a thing in AU. It started in CU and up. But I think it changed a little bit in FCU. You could see that in some versions of FCU, I think only if you had light theme enabled, the Cortana search would be white, like a white box. It did not do that in Creators Update and below. So now you can see I am going to be installing Windows 10 RS4, which is Redstone 4 or April 2018 update, build 17134.1, which it did say .1, but the weird thing, it was like .112, I think, when I installed it, because I just got that ISO off the media creation tool yesterday when I was recording the video. And I didn't have a 32-bit one, but I did have the other one, which, believe it or not, it was supposed to be build 17133, and the rumor was it was going to be called Spring Creators Update, but I think it actually was going to be April 2018 update even for that one, because there was a time where I used a 17133 USB to upgrade a computer to it, and it said welcome to the April update or something, and I was like, what? I freaked out. I was like, is that the name of the next update? Like, I literally found out from that. Because it actually ended up being that. It was April 2018 update. It said April update, but close enough. And that's how I found out. So it was going to be April update all along, I think. The rumor was Spring Creators Update, but I guess Microsoft changed it because it did get leaked. So they wanted to change it. So even if it was going to be build 17133, it would have still been April 2018 update. Even though I named it SCU in the files, I should probably fix that. But I just kept it that because that's what people thought it was. But pretty much with the Redstone 4 version 1803, it was supposed to get released on April 10th. That was the rumor. But because of BSOD issues, they had to release build 17134 and scrap 17133, which was funny. They were about to release it because they even released a cumulative update. I believe it was 17133.73, if I'm not wrong. And they were going to release it to the public. And it turns out they couldn't because it was just too many issues. And with BSOD problems, they had to scrap it basically and just fix it and release one build higher up, and it got delayed. Which the final release was April 10th of 2018. And then the rollout to Windows Update was May 8th. 2018, but it seemed like still, even nowadays, you don't actually receive the update unless you do a manual check in Windows Update, which I am not even sure why, but it seems like that. And I also realized something. There was an issue back then, I think starting with FCU, that if you had your telemetry settings all disabled, it would force update you to the next feature update, which I believe is true, because when I disabled telemetry on my install, it updated FCU to RS4 during that challenge and bricked my system because I had Arc theme installed. Because custom themes are bad, which I recommend not using custom themes. In fact, in Redstone 5 and 6 and all those, has a dark theme built into File Explorer, so no need to use things like Arc. But pretty much, they also, in RS4, you could see more of the Fluent, but you'll see it more on my computer when I start showing on my computer the Fluent. They added that fonts thing, as you guys see in the video, to RS4. They added timeline, which I think I showed it in this video, but you couldn't really see it because it was a VM that wasn't really connected to the internet. But pretty much you could see the previous things you've done, and they changed the icon of task view, and it's now timeline. Basically, it's called the timeline feature. I remember someone looking up timeline in Windows 10 to see other versions, and instead they saw the actual feature called timeline. They're like, that's not what I wanted, and I'm like laughing because it's kind of funny, you know. I think I forgot to mention this, but in game mode that they added that true play in FCU so people couldn't cheat on games. It would detect it, but without that setting, some games might not work. Forgot to mention that was added in the Fall Creators Update. Also, the settings app, as I said, was redesigned. A thing they removed in RS4 was home group, which I don't really think many people used. In fact, someone said it caused more issues than actually worked. But they replaced the feature with something called nearby sharing, which I assume is similar. Never tried it before, but I had to do some research before recording this video, just so I can make sure I get all the information correct, because I don't want to give any misinformation in this video. But if I am wrong on anything, I'm sorry. Just let me know in the comments so I don't remember it as being incorrect. So that way I don't remember it the wrong way. But pretty much with Windows 10, there's been 6 versions of Windows 10. There's a RS5 build, a Redstone 5, which is build, I think, like 17, I forgot. I think it was like 17623 or something. I might be wrong on that. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But there's another build called 19H1, which is the build I have on my computer. I think it's like 18204 if I'm not mistaken, which you can see right there in the video. And I'll show a little bit of that build, but it's not much different yet. They did add some new features to it. I forgot what they all were, but pretty much I just show it a little bit. You can see the more of the fluent design as it shows on my computer, but you could just look up the build or try it yourself. But because this video is about over, I gotta end it here. So happy birthday, Windows 10. Nice 3 years. I just hope they release something new soon, because I do want something completely new. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. And let me know what your favorite build of Windows 10 was and your favorite features. So everyone, thanks for watching this video on Windows 10's birthday. Sorry it's a day late, and bye-bye for now.